Before we dive into this episode, I've got something really exciting to share with you. If you're a brand new coach looking to launch your business in 2025, or you've already started, but you really want to get things off the ground and gain momentum, let me introduce you to the Strategy Soiree. This is a free 4-part mini coaching program created just for coaches like you. It's going to run for 2 weeks in January, and it'll be a fun, supportive, and really high-value experience. We're going to come together to map out your personalized business strategy. Think of it as a mix of actionable steps, clarity, and that extra boost of confidence you need to start the year and launch and grow your business in a way that feels really good for you. And the best part is that not only will you get support and coaching and tools and resources from me, you'll also get to connect with a community of like-minded coaches who are on the same journey as you. So you'll start the year by making amazing connections with other people on the same path. And honestly, this is such a game changer when you're in business. It's really the difference between struggling all alone and feeling supported and expanded by the people you're around. So if that sounds like something you want to get involved in, I'd love to see you in there. Head to thehappyheartco.com/2025, or just click on the link in the show notes to sign up for free. And you'll be able to join the community straight away, start connecting, and we'll be kicking off on the 14th of January. I can't wait to see you there. Welcome to this episode where I want to address should I launch an online coaching course in 2025? Hello and welcome to the Life First Business podcast. I'm your host Leonie, and I'm all about helping new coaches like you create life first businesses you love by building out the key foundations you need for an easeful and joyful business that supports both your wealth and your well-being goals. One where you get to make an impact doing what lights you up and helping others. We talk about the strategies, the systems, and the mindset you need to make your coaching business work for you. So let's dive in. This is something that I think a lot of new coaches have in the back of their mind, that they want to create an online course and create more passive income in their business. And I have launched a course, a completely hands-off course, and sold it for a low price. I've also delivered it live. And I've also done one-on-one coaching. So I have experience of all three of those over the past 12 months, actually. And one myth that I think a lot of coaches might be thinking, or maybe it's being perpetuated out there, is that a course is easier to sell one-on-one because it's cheaper. But actually, in my experience, you still need to talk about the offer just as much, and the message still needs to get through very clearly for someone to be ready to buy, whatever the price. And with any offer, there will be certain objections that people have. So one of the objections they might have to an online course is wanting more support. So there might be certain people that will be interested in a course, and there will be other people that want more one-on-one support. So with that context in mind, I think it's important to think about what phase of business you are in before you decide what your offer should be. And there is a case to be said in creating your business exactly the way you envisage it to be from the very start. But if you jump into your coaching business with the aim of launching a course straight away, this is what can happen that I've seen and also experienced, is that because the course is a smaller offer in terms of investment for people, in order to make a certain amount of revenue, you've got to sell more, which means you've got to do more marketing, you've got to get it in front of more people to make the same amount of money. So if you're looking at where your time is split and where your skills need to lie, you've really got to be able to put a lot of time and skill into the marketing side of it in order to make the same amount of revenue as you would make from a higher ticket one-on-one offer. So depending on where you feel you sit in that, in terms of like, do you already have experience in marketing and selling? And do you already have a big audience that you can sell to? All those questions are good things to ask yourself before you decide whether or not to launch a course. Because if you're starting with a small audience and you're only just learning how to market what it is you do and the transformation that you're putting into your course and how to sort of master your message and how to know how to sell, then it's going to take you a lot longer to be bringing in the amount of revenue that you want with a hands-off, lower-cost course. Whereas if you're selling high ticket, you can make the same amount of money with less clients. So you need to get your offer in front of less people. You will be able to have a much more high-touch selling strategy, like hosting discovery calls, so that you can put that one-on-one time into the selling, because you know at the end of it, there's the potential to make a higher amount of revenue from that selling strategy. Whereas if you're making a smaller amount, you don't want to be having a one-on-one call with every single person that you're going to sell a course to. You tend to do more leveraged ways of selling, like challenges or webinars or funnels and things like that, depending on how complicated it gets. So these are all things to take into consideration. And with all this said, this is my opinion, and you can make your own mind up about how you feel on this. But I think if you're starting with a small audience and you are learning the skills of audience growth and marketing and selling, then you're better off starting with one-to-one. And the reason I think that is because you are more likely to hit your revenue goal sooner and feel like, okay, my business is off the ground now. I'm bringing in some revenue. I've got the ability to learn all these skills that I need to learn, but still be making a revenue and doing the thing that really lights me up, which is helping people while I do it. And when you're working one-on-one with clients, you're going to learn all the things that they need to overcome, the questions that come up, all these things that you might not have known before you really started taking people through this transformation. So you can apply that knowledge later on to a course. It's really, really valuable knowledge. You can make a much better product that's much more likely to get the transformation for people when you're having that hands-on approach. You'll be able to get direct feedback on the process of the coaching container or the coaching program, but also in the selling process as well. So when you're selling to them, you'll be getting immediate feedback on the questions they've got and what their thoughts and responses are. And you'll be learning the things that that person needs to hear to be ready to invest in this transformation. Because obviously the offer is going to be different if further down the line you make it a more leveraged offer. But the things that that person needs to know to be ready to invest in that transformation, even if the offer is different and the price is different, is still going to be valuable across both offers. And also there's less upfront work for you to do. You're not having to actually create the course and the resources and learn the tech and all of that to be able to immediately start working with clients and having one-to-one calls with them. So you can start to build that steady income while honing all the skills. And that's the beauty of it. So I think there's a lot of pros to working one-on-one. And I think on the flip side, if you are having to learn those skills and you're trying to do it while selling a hands-off, lower cost offer, it can feel like it's just taking forever, because you do really need to dial in the messaging in terms of like the copy that you're writing in your top of funnel content, in your nurture sequence or your nurture emails, or however you're nurturing people on the sales page of your website. All that thing needs to be really, really dialed in order to sell a course. Even webinars and things like take practice. So I think it's best to learn all those skills when you're working one-on-one, so that you can feel like, okay, my business is off the ground, I'm bringing in revenue, I'm serving clients, I'm learning while I'm earning, which is great. And the other thing I think to think about is how much the industry has evolved over the past few years. The online course industry is a very new industry, and it really only took off during the pandemic. At that time, the market was very busy because in terms of buyers, it was a seller's market, as they say in real estate. People who were creating courses then had such a captive audience of people who were at home with nothing else to do. I think things have changed, and obviously people have become more aware of the industry, more discerning about how they're investing in online courses and things. And this differs depending on what niche you're in. But I think there's more of an awareness on the value difference between hands-off and one-on-one support. And I think that people are valuing that tailored approach where they know they're much more likely to get the result because there's some in-person interaction, whether that's one-on-one or in a group format. And it's not even just about the coaching or the teaching, but even just the accountability to guide people through a process so that they actually complete it and actually undertake the actions that you want to take and everything. There's so much to be said for it. And actually, you can think really carefully about how you want to deliver that. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to be doing hour-long Zoom calls. You could have asynchronous support where it's voice note messaging back and forth. There's different ways of you providing that support to someone without you having to do, the traditional expectation of one-on-one calls or even in-person calls. You can mix it up and you can think of different ways to offer that support so that it's aligned for you and it works for your Life First business. So I think that it's definitely worth considering that approach is working more hands-on, having a higher ticket one-on-one or one-to-few offer in the early stages of your business, and then thinking about bringing in more leverage later on if that's something that's on your mind. And again, this is my opinion, but I think that once you've worked with a number of one-on-one clients to develop your own repeatable process or framework, and you've refined it in a way that it delivers, and that you've kind of understood where the stumbling blocks are and where the common hurdles are, and you've ironed out all those issues, you can create a much more effective course that will serve people better. And I think that you can then have built more of an engaged audience, which takes time. It takes time to grow your community. And I know there are exceptions to all these situations, and there are people out there who growing audiences more quickly, but on the whole it takes time to grow that know, like and trust, to nurture an audience, to get in front of enough people. And thinking about where you want to split your time in your business as well, like, do you want to be really focused on marketing? Is that something you enjoy? Audience growth, social media, is that your area of genius, or would you prefer to be having more of your time spent working with clients and less on marketing? So it's just how you're seeing you split your time, because I think that idea of passive is a bit of a myth. And maybe when you've really, really dialed everything in and you've got an evergreen funnel running, but you still have to be the face of your business and the personal brand. I can definitely think of one online business coach I know of this year, and I love her stuff and I love her podcast and everything, but she's halted everything for a while and stopped her podcast and things like that. And I'm sure she's going to be fine when she comes back and she starts promoting again, but it's like out of sight, out of mind, isn't it? So I think you do always have to be doing stuff in your business to keep things going. It's not like you can just set something up and walk away and you're passively making money. Yes, there might be less of a cap on your income if you've got the numbers and you've got the audience. If you're working one-to-one, it depends on your income goals and all those things. But if we're talking about, the first year or two of your business, then I think that one-on-one model is a great way to start your business, to be bringing in income while you learn all these skills. So I would challenge you to have a think about where you're at in your business journey. Think about what skills you have currently, what skills you need to learn, what's your audience look like, and what do you enjoy doing most? What part of running your coaching business lights you up the most? And factor all of those things in when you're thinking about your offer. This is all stuff that I'm going to be covering in the strategy soiree. We'll be looking at creating your Life First business vision and putting it all together and creating a plan that suits your circumstances and is tailored to you. So depending on how many hours you've got to put towards your business, what you want it to look like, where you're currently at, and creating an action plan that suits your circumstances. So if you want to get clear on all this stuff and you want to do it in a coaching format, a group coaching format, connect with a group of like-minded other women, other coaches who have the same goals as you, all in the early stages of launching and growing their coaching business, then definitely make sure you sign up. We're kicking off on the 14th of January. There's going to be 4 live sessions running over 2 weeks. And it's going to be a fun and enjoyable way to start the year and get completely clear and confident around your action plan for 2025 so that you can create the business of your dreams and really get your coaching business off the ground in 2025. So sign up via the link in the show notes, and I'll see you in there on the 14th of January. Thanks for listening to this episode. I hope you found it useful, and I'll catch you next time. Before you go, just a quick reminder to join the Strategy Soiree. If you're a brand new coach planning to launch in 2025, or you're a coach in the early stages of business who's ready to build real momentum, this free mini coaching program is perfect for you. It's not going to be just about strategy. It's a fun community-focused experience, and we'll be mapping out your next steps together. So you'll walk away with a personalized plan to launch and grow your business. You'll have the clarity to move forward and the confidence to book your next clients, all without going down rabbit holes, chasing the wrong ideas and strategies. Instead, you'll be able to take actionable steps that lead to results. Head to thehappyheartco.com/2025 or check out the link in the show notes to sign up for free. Thanks for listening to this episode, and I'll catch you in the next one.